Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Business Women Awards and the Best SME Awards. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Talia Zamora from Talia Zamora Coaching. She is a coach specialising in working with people who have neurodivergent challenges, and she works with businesses and families. And she's built a wonderful business over the last few years and was a silver winner in the Best Business Women Awards this year, and she's also won a Shining Star Awards with Businesswomen Unlimited. So we're going to be talking about her business journey and about the role that awards have played in that. And we're also going to talk about the power of getting referrals in your business, because this has been one of the mainstays of her business growth. So welcome, Talia.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. It's lovely to be here.
Oh, great. Well, let's start from the beginning. So, what made you set up a business and start this company about 6, 7 years ago now?
Yeah. So I was working for a company that I was only on a contract with, and I wanted to work close to home. Like many mums out there, wanted flexibility, needed part-time hours. I'd worked in London before, and I was coming to the end of this contract, trying to apply for jobs that would suit me and my family, and I just couldn't find what I wanted. So I just thought to myself, okay, let's have a rethink. It was near the end of the year. Let's think maybe I can train myself to do something different, take a different avenue. And flexibility was the biggest driver for me, because I've got two autistic boys. I needed to attend hospital appointments and additional things, be there for the usual kind of sports days and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's always something additional in there. And sending them to after school club and things like that wasn't ideal for them. They needed to come home and rest. So yeah, it then just made me think, actually, I need to maybe start working for myself. So I got myself a coach. I started enrolled myself on a couple of different courses, and with the help of my coach, I then set up my coaching business, which is quite ironic, really. So then, from there it kind of grew. I'd come from business improvement and continuous improvement and contract management. So with all the business improvement kind of knowledge I had, it kind of would fit for me to be a business coach and help people on a smaller scale than I had been in house. So
Excellent.
yeah, and now
And
I've
then,
kind of sorry, I've took it that step further with the neurodivergence focus by just by learning from my own lived experiences and then also training.
so you clearly spotted a need for that. And how did that, how did you spot that need for working with people who have got neurodivergent challenges?
So the funny thing about that is that I was running my coaching business, and helping women in particular with their small businesses. And I was also then, like I said, I was training in the background for about neurodivergence, autism, and ADHD, and multiple other things. And without realizing, I kind of seemed to be have a repetition of women with neurodivergence, and all had a neurodivergent child. And it sometimes I didn't really know it, because there's a big thing about late discovery and not realizing it and going through life doing things in a particular way and being different and not seeing it for yourself. So, but I just suddenly started to realize that actually I'm attracting this particular demographic. I'm attracting this ideal client that I hadn't really thought that I was going to, but realized that actually they were the best people for me to help, because I could relate to them so much and I could understand their situation. So yeah, then it was obvious to specialize.
So, what sort of challenges do you think they face?
When coming from running a business, especially if you've got kids that are neurodivergent or you are too, I think the biggest challenge is actually your boundaries and your self-care, because you might look at other people's businesses and think, oh, look at all the things that they're doing, and they're out there all the time, they're online, they're doing lives, they're attending networking, they're giving out tips and tricks all the time. And trying to compare yourself to other people and achieve what they're achieving at the speed that they're achieving it at. And then if you're not setting yourself a boundary and being realistic, I think that self-care just goes out the window, and then the burnout comes.
So a lot of what you're doing is helping people prevent burnout as well as organising themselves a bit better. Would you
Yeah,
say
definitely.
prioritising is quite important?
Yeah, definitely. And being organised and being able to do things succinctly, and that can be definitely challenging if you've got ADHD.
Mm.
Um, and then also having those boundaries, those time frames, and yeah, just being focused instead of when you start going off the rails a bit, and try and be in control in a realistic way, because sometimes people are just really unrealistic.
So your work is predominantly one-to-one, is it? You're not doing group work, you're doing one-to-one work.
So I do workshops, and that's more focused on going into the business, and that it's not as common as my one-to-one work. But you go into the business, and if they're having certain challenges within their dynamic, it can be really helpful for them to be educated in neurodivergence and how small things can make a big difference in terms of the workplace, in terms of if they're sitting next to a window or if the lights are really bright and things like music is playing, just understanding the needs of the individuals that have got neurodivergence so they can work better together. So there's a number of other workshops that I can run, but that's one of the ones I've done recently.
And do you find you work with people for a one-off session or they tend to be longer term ongoing projects?
Longer term ongoing work so much better
Mm.
because having that accountability, having that ability to plan ahead and make steps to achieve what you want to achieve, yeah, definitely having long term is much better.
Mm.
I rarely get somebody who's a one off.
So if someone's listening to this podcast and they have ADHD or autism and they're running a business, what's kind of like the first steps that they can take to try and create some calm in their chaos?
So I would say to look at their diary and look at their realistic time that they've got available, because some people seem to think that they've got 8 hours when actually they've only got 5 hours a day and they're trying to squeeze too much in. And so looking at and then building on what your ideal week would look like. So if your dream is to work 3 hours, then build, map it out and think, okay, how could I get this done? And maybe I need to get a support from marketing or something like that to
Mm.
to achieve this, but it's doable, right? So I would say that, and to be realistic about your time. So those time frames, if you're not, like I say, if you're thinking you've got 8 hours when you've only got five, you're not being realistic with what you can achieve and the time that you've got. And yeah, being kind to yourself, like not expecting the world.
And also understanding your skill set sometimes I think is important because people often think they can do everything and they try and
Mm,
learn to do everything. And this isn't just people who are neurodivergent, this is a lot of entrepreneurs, but actually trying to nail down what you're best at and outsourcing the rest is probably a good practice, isn't it?
yeah, definitely. Especially when you've got those things on your to-do list that stay on the to-do list and you never get done. They're a perfect example of something you need to give to somebody else because it's not something that lights you up, that you enjoy, or that you have the skill for, and somebody else can do it so quickly. So why
Exactly. And it
not?
could be just done in a few seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we touched on a conversation before we hit record about how you're gaining your clients. Because I was thinking to myself, I bet it's quite a difficult thing sometimes to reach out and ask for help. And you said to me that a lot of your clients do come from referrals. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you do networking and you also get clients because they've worked with you and they talk to other people about you. So let's talk a bit about how you're gaining your clients and keeping your clients.
So I have met a number of clients through networking, or met somebody who's referred someone to
Mm.
me, and I love networking, and it keeps me sane because I'm with other people. So it's a lovely way to get work. But yes, the referral bit is also great. And it's something that I set up for myself, or started setting up for myself a while ago, because I'm not great at marketing myself. I also don't have time to be online all the time or sending out emails. So actually getting the referral work really does help. So I'm with a couple of agencies, like they do other work and then have people that will need coaching that they can refer to me because they don't have a coach.
Mhm.
Um, so that really helps. But I'm also with a charity which is Advanced ADHD and Autism Trust,
Mhm.
and I predominantly get families that come to me from those referrals.
Hmm.
So I talk to the parents about the challenges they're having with their child, and help them through certain stages and guide them, like help them to make little changes. So those referrals are great. And then, yeah, past clients, a number of them have referred peers and friends and things to me for support. And that's mainly with their business. So that's, yeah, it's a bit of a balance there.
Yeah, and I bet it's really satisfying when you kind of help people and create more sort of structure and strategy into their lives.
Yeah, definitely. It's really it's great to see the progress. And there's often, in a good way, there's often tears when I have coaching calls because it's quite emotional talking about your personal stuff. But so to having gone from that deep emotion of tears to those smiles of joy and achieving something new, whether it's your website or gaining new clients or having somebody book you for a
Mm.
workshop or selling products, whatever it may be, to being on that journey is such a privilege to be with them and to help them and to make encourage them to get on and do what they want to do.
So we'll talk about networking and awards in one, really, because you'd been in business for about a year, hadn't you, before you started going to networking events?
Yeah.
And how did that open up your world?
Well, it was huge. Had been in a bit of a bubble, which I'm sure lots of people are. When you start a business, you
Mm,
put your head down and you do everything. Like you're talking about earlier, you need to reach out and get other people to help. But something about, and especially with women, that you put your head down at the beginning and just do everything. You're the web designer, you're the marketer, you're the accountant. You haven't even started the job that you wanted to do yet. You're doing all the other stuff.
mm,
So I just kind of started to come out of my shell a bit, thinking, "Oh my goodness, I need to connect with other people. I don't want to be doing this all by myself." I really miss that work environment in terms of, those coffee cup kind of conversations when you're putting the kettle on kind of thing, in the kitchen at work, or when you're going out for lunch and things, and you see other people engaged. So yeah, to me, I thought, okay, I want associates, I want connections, I want collaboration opportunities. So then that's when I came to the expo in Wembley all those years ago, and then joined various different networking um, groups from that, and yeah, found the ones that I loved.
mm.
Um, yeah,
And
I
that's
was,
interesting, isn't it? Because what sort of events do you enjoy? Because you're a bit of a you're a bit extrovert, but you're also quite introverted. You've got a bit of both sitting there. And it can be quite scary walking into a networking event and not knowing anyone. So do you prefer the smaller, more intimate events or the big ones where there's lots of people?
Oh, definitely the smaller ones. The
Right.
big ones with lots of people, I always scan the room and think, oh, like there's about 20 people here I want to talk to. So when we start talking to people, I'm not 100% engaged because I'm thinking, oh, I need to catch all the other people. So I find it really hard. Whereas with a smaller group, I think it's quite nice to be able to have
Yeah.
longer conversations and to connect with them on a different level. So yeah, I much prefer that.
The winner of the gold winner of our best networking group this year was Janine Friston, and she runs networking events aimed at people who are neurodivergent, which I
Oh, I
think
need
is
to look
really
them up.
interesting. Yeah, based up in Manchester, and she identified a need that a lot of people, especially if you have got autism or ADHD, find it very difficult to walk into a huge room with a lot of people, very overwhelming. And that's why she set up her networking events to help people who feel like that. And I thought that was amazing. I thought, what a great idea.
Yeah, it is a really good idea. I'm part of a disability group that is doing a project, the Lilac Review, about disabled people in the workplace.
Mm,
And through that, I've met so many amazing people and the businesses they run, but also understanding much more about people with neurodivergence and their little businesses, but also disabilities and what the things that they
mm.
face. And yeah, but it is lovely to connect with people like-minded, like, or things that
Mm.
they have in common. They get the challenges, that kind of thing.
Yeah, which is really good. And so
Yeah.
that brings us on to awards because you won your first award through Business Women Unlimited, which is like their in-house awards. And That must have been amazing to receive that kind of recognition. And has that
Yeah, it
sparked
was.
you to do other awards?
Yeah, I guess there's always that feeling of an imposter, which I'm sure lots of people have, and think, should I enter that? Shouldn't I enter? What's the benefit? And are they going to think I'm great or not? Or am I, I'm not done enough in my business yet. But so it is lovely to enter and then actually be recognised and realise that actually, oh yeah, I am doing a good job. And somebody else is seeing it too.
And
So.
how difficult was it to pull the information together for your award entry?
So the Business Women Unlimited one was didn't take me too long. That was a really nice process to go through, and it was a good warm up because then I went and did the Best Business Women, and that was massive. That could have gone on and on and on. I did feel for the judges, thinking, "Oh my God, there's so much that they've got to go through." But
Mm.
yeah, there was so much evidence to give, and yeah, I could have given more, but
And how did you feel on the awards night? How was that whole
oh,
experience for
it
you?
was lovely. I mean, even just being there to celebrate everybody else is fun enough.
Mm.
But knowing that you're going to be a potential winner too, that it obviously gives you so much excitement too. And then you're celebrating with other people in the same position, so it makes it like a great experience.
And did you get any press after the awards?
Yeah, I did before and after. So
Oh,
when I was a finalist, I did a press release and got an article in the local paper. And then again, after the awards, I got another article out. So yeah, it was great. That's
well,
really,
great.
yeah. And the funny thing is, I don't know, I mean, if everybody experiences this way, but I put it out to press and didn't get a reply. I just appeared twice in in the papers. And I had friends text me saying congratulations. I didn't actually know that they'd liked the press release and used it.
I don't tell people now. It's really
No,
strange
it's
how they
weird.
do it. I mean, I did recently do a press release for myself, and they actually did ring me, and I had a conversation, and that's very unusual though. Um, and they added a few extra bits into it. But that's quite unusual. Most of the time, they just don't tell you whether they're going to use it or not, and it either goes in or it doesn't. So
It's
that's
funny,
good.
isn't it?
Well done. It's extra
Yeah,
publicity for you.
yeah. No, it's
And did
great.
you find that it gave you more social media traction and more kind of potential clients?
I think it was more community traction than anything
Mm.
because of a number of people. Even I even spoke to one of my local MPs recently, just by chance because I was ringing the council, and he said, "Oh, you're the one that was in the paper recently," and I thought, "You don't even know me. How do you how do you know that just from my name?" So it's given, yeah, more local
Kudos.
recognition. Yeah. So yeah, I did put it out on social media, but I would definitely say the community stuff was more significant.
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite nice to have that community recognition. You know, when you walk around a supermarket, maybe someone will go, "Oh, that's that woman who was in the local paper." Who knows? So, we always finish our podcast by talking about business tips. And, you're quite a way through your journey. You've got over the first 5 years, which is the one that they say, 98% of businesses don't survive 5 years. So you've got there, tick that box. So what things have really got you through? Obviously, we've talked about networking awards. What other things have really helped you get to where you are today?
I think pushing myself outside of my comfort zone because
Mm.
for years, especially in industry, I didn't think I could do any kind of training or public speaking. Never wanted to go up on stage, and the minute I started running my own business, it's different. You've got a passion and an enthusiasm for what you're doing, and I did start doing it, and I thought it's what a contrast that is. So yeah, but I really had to push myself out of that comfort zone. So I would definitely encourage people to not, no, be careful not to listen to the little messages in your head saying, no, you can't do that.
Oh,
When,
that's lovely.
and
Yeah. And
I
how do
think, yeah,
you organize yourself so you're efficient? What do you do?
I've cut back on a lot of stuff that was just filling space. So
Mm.
one of the things I do with my clients, especially at this time of the year, is something called stop, start, continue, and improve. We put it in a grid, and I try and do that with myself as well, to stop doing the things that aren't really helping me or my business and start doing things that are better for me. So that's when I picked up more networking, because connecting with people is valuable, and what you want to improve on, things like social media. So yeah, it's handy to review it all, and that's what I do. So I've kind of tried to boundary it as much as possible.
Well, amazing. And what have any plans for 2026?
Well, I've done this 101 neurodivergent traits download, but I also
Oh.
so that's a download that's on my website, and then I've shared it on LinkedIn. But I also started to do videos for every single one of them.
Mm.
So my plan is to do more with that. I've recorded like 25 of them so far. So I want to share every single one via little mini video, but then share it further for awareness and understanding, to help people to kind of see it for themselves.
Yeah, because there's a lot of adults that aren't diagnosed because obviously when we were young, well, me,
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
'cause I'm a lot older than you, but
Not that
certainly,
much.
well, quite a bit. But it wasn't something that was talked about or diagnosed or anything. I mean, the 1970s, it just wasn't. And
Yeah,
even like my eldest son, like was nearly 10 when he was diagnosed. And it seems to be a bit better now. I could be completely wrong, but it seems to be that early diagnosis is happening much earlier than it used to. And so the sort of topics that you're talking about can be useful for people who perhaps haven't really realized that they could be ADHD or autistic or have other neurodivergent challenges. Is
yeah,
that a fair
exactly.
fair comment to make?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely spot on. It's why I did it, because I often used to get asked, is this something that's neurodivergent? And list things. Do you think I am? So
Mm,
it's such a huge question,
mm.
and there's so many traits that you can have. I just started collecting them and just thought, actually, I may as well show people that there's so many, that everybody's different.
So if someone's listening to this and they feel that they want to try and reach out and get some help, where's the best place for them to start?
So, if you're local to me, which is Hatfield, Hertfordshire, we've got a charity called Advance, who gives some great free support, and
Mm,
that's who I also coach for. But most communities do have some sort of charity, a supporting charity. So I would look for a supporting charity nearby, especially if you want community. If
mm,
you're wanting to support, there are lots of different types of coaches, lots of neurodivergent coaches out there as well.
mm,
And yeah, you can reach out to the likes of someone like me and have a chat and see if,
and have a chat. Yeah, good
yeah,
idea.
if that
Yeah.
works.
And there is a scheme, isn't there, called the Access to Work scheme that can help people
Yeah,
fund it.
it's not that easy
Mm,
to get. There is a long wait list on it, but it's definitely worth applying for.
mm,
So it's, if you're somebody who's got a disability and you're running your own business in particular, you can get support in-house within business as well. But it's particularly helpful if you're solopreneur, and then you
mm.
can have a bit of support and resources that you can
Yeah.
apply for.
Well, we will definitely add your links into the comments on the show notes, and we'll definitely make sure the link to your charity that you do some work for is in there as well to help people. And I think we should include the link to your PDF as well, because it sounds like it could be very useful for people.
Great, thank
Um,
you.
so thank you for joining me today. It's been really interesting talking to you and finding out more about what you do, because it's probably a service that a lot of people don't even realize exists. So that's always a good thing to give you more
Very true.
awareness that there is help out there and that you can get that support to help you run a business more efficiently and be more effective with family life as well. So thank you
Mm,
for joining me today. I wish you continued success with your business. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you on more award stages going forwards.
thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Debbie. It's been great.